And then you'll be able to get a good fee for whatever it is. So don't worry too much. Somebody's interested in everything. And anything you can be interested in, you'll find others will. It is absolutely stupid to spend your time doing things you don't like.
Alright guys, so the plan for today is to get the whole fuel system set up on the intake manifold itself and also kind of mock up, you know, the fuel pressure regulator and all that stuff and just kind of figure out what fittings and lines we need for that so we can order that so that when the car is here and the motor's in, we have all the stuff ready. We're not ordering that stuff then. At least that's the plan. I am terrible with ordering things. There's like several things that I need to order still that I keep forgetting about. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll order them and have them by the time the Miata's ready to need them, and then I forget to order them and I still haven't ordered them. So it's a big request for me to remember to order something, but we'll make reminders. We will prevail. We're also going to weld the diff, the 8.8, and get that ready. Me and John took a look at it today, took the cover off, and found out that it is actually a 327. I was told by the person I bought it from that it was a like 270 or something like that, or even lower too. I was planning on re-gearing it, but then I was like, you know what, I'll just put it in, I'll run it. Maybe it'll work out as a good gear ratio, maybe not, but it's awesome that it's a 327 because that is the exact ratio we need. Okay, so first things first, I guess let's get all these parts sorted out. One of these is going to be a fuel pump, which we obviously can't put in right now. I feel like this is going to be the fuel pump. This might be injectors. This is injectors. Okay, let's put these to the side. This is probably fuel pump, maybe? Yes. So Dielectric, this is all Dielectric stuff. Not the rails, these are super eBay China, but we went nice on the stuff that matters. This is a Dielectric fuel pump. So this is a drop-in for a Miata, which I had a old fuel pump out of my 240. It's a decent pump, but I could not find anywhere a drop-in spec for a Miata. They didn't make one, Marlboro didn't make one that I could find. So Dielectric they have a whole slew of drop-in specific fuel pumps, so you don't have to worry about having any issues with them like falling out of the cradle. I bought a car, I traded my Porsche for a Turbo E36. That particular car, you know, was running bad. The guy thought I had a blown head gasket. I took it all apart, still running bad. Turns out the fuel pump, because it was just a universal fit, had fallen out of the cradle and was sucking to the bottom of the tank, and that's why it was running bad. So it's really nice to be able to get one that is vehicle specific. So I'm really excited about that. We will install that at a later date. Put it all to the side, because we don't need it right now. I would guess this is regulator. Yeah, nice fuel pressure regulator. So we got a 3-port, so we'll have an in and out and a return. I don't know which is which, I'll have to look. But so we'll come in from the fuel tank, out to the return, and then into the rail. So we can we don't have to try to modify this to make it into the rail, out of the rail to the regulator. So we can still run like returnless style, but it is returned. It's just returned before the rail. That'll make sense later on down the road. So we don't need this right this second. Main thing we need to do right now, get the injectors and the rails situated on the intake manifold. I bought this Dielectric Grease, which I couldn't find a big thing of it. This will work. This is just for the injector O-rings. You can kind of use whatever. The wheel bearing grease kind of like breaks down and stuff, so you might not want to use that, but I'm sure it's fine. Okay, so here's our injectors. Pretty cool. So they send you this. These are the injector numbers, which obviously would be numbered on the injector itself. These are 50-pounders. We were going to do decaps, but I figured it'd be nice to go with new injectors because I'd have to buy the stock injectors and decap them and have them flowed, and this ends up being around the same cost. But it shows you all the flow rating and stuff. They're matched very well. So huge thank you to Dielectric for sending all this stuff over, especially Mark. Mark's always been awesome and down to support me and help me out whenever I need it. So I really, really appreciate them. Huge thank you to them. So yeah, I guess let's get started. Obviously this is going to go over the front. This is going to attach the two. We need to figure out which rail is which, because I think there's definitely a left and a right because they angle Like this one angles this way. I guess it would be the same. You just run it backwards because they have the same. Yeah. So they should be the same. Just depends on which way we run them. I apologize for the terrible lighting. I just always end up working on my stuff at this time of day, and it sucks. I was gonna just buy a stock rail, stock injectors, and all that, but like I said, with the injectors and then the rails, these aftermarket rails were like 120 bucks shipped, whereas a stock rail was like 200 bucks from what I found. So we'll have the in on this side because that's where the fuel lines come up. So for that, I guess we'll just use this fitting for now. We're gonna probably just go barbed with like Parker push lock or something instead of trying to run AN lines to everything, because then we'll have to convert like our factory lines and all that stuff, which just is unnecessary. So cap one side, fitting to the other side, two fittings on the front, and these will connect this line to itself. Okay, got it. I don't have an AN wrench, but quick tool time. Milwaukee just came out with ratchety wrenches. You guys know how much I love ratchety wrenches. It's got the same jaw design as the other wrenches that I have of theirs. They've got the serrations, and then it's like triangled with a little release, so it goes all the way on. I love these, so I'm really excited about having them in a ratchety version because ratchety wrenches are your best friend. One of my top 5 tools. Also, here, let's compare here. Let's grab a bigger one, it'll be easier. I also have only had up to 15 forever, so having 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, it's 8 to 22 in 1 increments, which is awesome. So look at how much throw that is. And look at this one. You can barely hear it, but much finer teeth count, which is really important when you're in a tight spot and you don't have a lot of room to go back and forth. You can kind of just tick, tick. So anyway, really excited about these. I wonder what size this is. I don't have AN wrenches, so can't do it the right way, but start with a 19, too small. 21, too small. 22, a little too big. That's okay. I don't really get much tighter than snug, really. Okay. This is interesting, this whole little O-ring deal. Looks like it's got a boss for it. So yeah, this is the front fitting that's going to connect the crossover hose. Alright, so we got our fittings done on this rail. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing with the other rail, and then connect them and other stuff, put them on. I don't know. I had to shut the garage because it gets, the sun just blasts in here in the afternoon. Maybe one day I'll have a house that faces north or south or east, so at least it's only hot in the morning. Because right now it's just, by the time I start working on stuff, the sun is just beaming in here. I gotta say, this is pretty nice for super eBay stuff. I'm gonna end up cutting this hose or cutting my hand off. Don't you worry about me, guys. I mean, this feels a little chintz, but that's okay. All that carefulness for no reason. This is why I can't have nice things, because I just mess them up. So we won't tighten these down just yet. We'll wait till we get the rails on. So I guess now, put the injectors in here first, maybe? I think that's a good idea. The only thing that sucks about going this route is that I told Matt I was going to use decaps, and he tuned the ECU that he sent me for decaps. So I will probably have to send it back to him and pay him to tune it for this, but small price to pay. You obviously want to be careful and you don't want to get this like in the nozzle itself because you can clog stuff up. You just want lube, otherwise, 1, the O-rings can dry out, 2, they can tear on install, which is no bueno. We need to put our brackets on to bolt it to the intake manifold itself. Okay, found all matching bolts. You gotta love having a bolt drawer. It is the best thing ever. Super handy. So, I will say, these feel like a little loose in here. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and throw the rails on. Hope that it's right. If it's not right, we will fix it later. this is right. So that way is correct. I think I just have this one backwards. Because this angles forward, whereas it needs to angle backwards. I mean, they're relatively snug in there, it's just like this one's kind of loose. I just feel like it should have a tighter seal at the bottom. I guess we'll run with it for now. If you guys know anything, if I'm totally wrong and have the wrong O-ring size, or this isn't an LS2 intake somehow, let me know and I'll fix it. But for now, we are going to roll with it. There's no point in stopping progress when it might be correct, or it might just work completely fine. Oh, there she is. Looks sick with the red. I'm loving the red and black combo. So let's test fit the manifold, see what it looks like. I would completely bolt this down and put intake manifold gaskets. When I was at the parts store today getting brake cleaner and dielectric grease, I was thinking about it. I'm like, there's something that I keep forgetting every time I come to the store, and it was intake manifold gaskets. But I'm gonna wait anyway, because like I said, to get this underneath the car on these dollies with it lifted up on the quick jack, the intake manifold wouldn't clear. So we're gonna have to wait until it's in the car to put it on anyway. But that's what it looks like. Red's a lot off. Don't know how I feel about that. Maybe we'll wrinkle black the valve covers or just let it ride. I don't know. The headers are at the ceramic coaters right now. I'm excited for that. I need to order the 13 mil head bolt so we can put them back on. I mean, it's pretty much ready. It really is. Like, just the last few things. I think I'm gonna go ahead and install a remote bleeder. I'll just do that on my own time. No need to make a video doing the same thing we already done, but you guys are right. I don't want to be under the car trying to bleed with this. It'd be nice to have a remote bleeder. Make my life a whole lot simpler, because you know I'm gonna break it and have to take it apart and need to bleed it a bunch of times, so don't want to have a headache. So I've got to clean out this diff, get all the gear oil out of it. I'm so stoked that this ended up being a 327. Like, I was just gonna run it as is and see how it ended up being and if I needed to rebuild it. But it definitely saved me a ton of time and money that it's already the right gear ratio. Like, we had done the math and I was gonna be around a 320, 350 would be my ideal ratio. So this could not have worked out better. We verified it on the ring gear, pinion gear, and by rotating it. So it is definitely a 327. Like I told the guys at the parts store, when I have brake clean, I just use the hell out of it. That's why I normally don't buy that much of it at a time. God, this is a heavy diff. Pro tip, if you ever take your diff to someone to get welded, make sure you clean it out first. Take the cover off, brake clean it, drain all the fluid obviously. You're paying them to weld it, not to clean up your mess. So, just a word of advice. I didn't know that, and I was the guy that brought his fully loaded diff with oil and everything in it to a welder. So since this is a big chunks of metal, we're gonna have to use 220. So Fed has an extension cord that I have plugged into where the dryer goes. Plug this into the welder, it just swaps out for the 120. I've always ran it on 120 because I've never had to weld anything that thick. So this will be a first time running it on 220. So for those of you who don't know, real quick lesson, what an open diff does is it gives power to whichever wheel. Basically what ends up happening is whichever wheel has the least traction is the one that gets all the power. So you go around a turn, inside wheel lifts a little bit, that wheel is just going to bake off. So welded diff allows both wheels to turn the same all the time. The problem with that is when you go around a corner, one wheel has to travel further than the other. So the inside wheel has to skip because the outside wheel has to travel that far. So it's got to travel 10 feet instead of 2 feet. So I mean, there's definitely downsides. I definitely wouldn't use it for anything other than drifting or drag racing. People say you can't daily weld a diff car. I disagree. I daily one for a while. Definitely more dangerous, but I mean, I feel like if you're drifting and you know how to drift, and you're not like silly, it's not that bad. So we got it in auto settings right now. We should probably wear a shirt. This thing always sets the wire feed speed a little bit high. And then probably crank the voltage up. But we'll start with the side right here. there. We got to be very careful to try to keep slag out of the ring gear. I'm going to actually cover that somehow with something. Like, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but it'd be ideal not to get a bunch of slag up in here.
Up in here, up in here.
Let's give her a shot. Alright, we've cleaned out all the slag, brake cleaned it, you know, just any pieces that I found, you know, they're not really stuck on very well, so you just kind of need to, like, I just chipped them off with a screwdriver, and then now we don't have any issues turning it because it's hanging up a little bit in a couple of spots where there's just a couple of little tiny pieces. So I think we got them all. We'll brake clean it out some more, and then we'll be good to go. I guess we could go ahead and throw the cover back on, why not? Alright, so we just need to RTV the cover, and we can slap it back on. Alright, so remember with RTV, you want to snug the bolts up just enough to be holding it, like holding it at all really. But you don't want them to be tight. You want the gasket maker to tack up before you tighten it, otherwise you'll just squeeze it all right out. So, also this is a good lesson in don't ever take the seller's word as gospel, even when, you know, bad for them. Like, obviously it would be better for the seller of this if this is a 327, that'd be a more desirable gear ratio, but he thought it was, you know, somewhere in the low twos. So, you know, I just took that as good faith. You know, why would you tell me it was something worse than it was? But I'm sure you just didn't know. So always do your own research, always double check everything just to be sure, so you don't waste money. Buying 355 gears would have certainly been a waste of money. All right, so we need to get 2 bolts for the top. Actually, I'll probably find some here, honestly. We're gonna let it tack up, tighten it down, and then we're good to go. We can fill it up at some point whenever the time has come. But I think that's gonna be it for today's video. Being some progress, better than none, right? Like I said, not much more to do before it's ready to go in the Miata. Literally bolt the headers on, put the speed bleeder on, that's it. So it's a couple hours of work and it is ready to go back in. Miata should be here by the end of the next week. So I'm hoping to get those things done around that time. I know I dropped the headers off. When did I drop them off? Friday. So, you know, it might be early into the following week when they're done and I can put them on and bolt them in the car. But we got to paint the engine bay and paint the cage anyway. So it should work out just perfect timing wise. FD Orlando this weekend. Let me know what you guys want to see, what you care to see, any of that, so I can make sure to film that. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.